Yo, what's up, man? It's your boy T, SKL to the day. Mr. Flow so good, man. Just keep up with my what's. Y'all already know my fate to back with you guys with yet another YouTube video. For those of y'all that are new to the channel, please do make sure to click that red button. Do subscribe. Also making sure to click the bell that is next to that red button to make sure that YouTube does notify you every single time I upload a video. Now, as things get more and more integrated around the world, hip-hop is getting more and more interesting, and so are other genres of music, of course, and other areas of life like acting and television and so on and so forth. But you know, this channel is about hip-hop and we're talking about hip-hop today. Hip-hop is getting more and more interesting as we start to see, you know, more and more African artists, more and more South African artists, more and more, you know, artists from different parts of the world actually start to make it onto a global stage, because we are now in an era where you are not restricted by location so as to which audience you can access and which audience you can't. And this is yet another fruit of that integration. For those of you guys that don't know, Dax, who is a Canadian rapper, who is one of the few rappers that came out purely off of YouTube as far as I know, has actually come out to say that AReece is fire when a question was posed to fans to actually say what do they think of a feature between AReece and Dax. This is what he actually came out and said. The page basically asked the question of AReece times Dax, and Dax actually responded to this post by saying he's fire, just watch a bunch of stuff on YouTube, saw the cypher from 2018 too, straight bars, you know. Now this could change a lot of things for AReece, and for those of you guys that don't know why it could change a lot for AReece, is because for the longest of time AReece has sort of been looked at as a dope rapper in SA and a dope rapper in Africa who's sort of at times undershooting his potential. And the reason that people feel that he might be undershooting his potential every now and then is because they're constantly comparing him to, you know, other counterparts like Nasty C and what Nasty C has actually been doing, you know, internationally, from, you know, being in studio with Snoop Dogg, doing songs with French Montana, doing songs with other big American acts, whilst, you know, it seemed like AReece was taking longer to actually get there. Now, this could change that, even though Dax is not one of the biggest artists, obviously, you know, even worldwide as far as hip-hop goes. But this could change that, because the type of fan base that guys like Dax actually appeal to, you know, is the type of fan base that is mostly based on the internet. And you'll see it even with the type of artists that he's worked with. He's obviously worked with guys like OT Genesis, worked with guys like Hobson, and you will know that these guys are guys that have the strong internet-like following that essentially is all about, in a lot of ways, about bars. Guys that follow guys like Tech9, guys that follow people like Token, and so on and so forth. They don't necessarily always get the most airplay. Not really sure about this, but I doubt they really get played that much on radio. But the type of fan base that they have on the internet is strong and tends to be very consistent. It's not just people that are after popular culture. These are people that are actually into rap and they actually love that. And, you know, that is AReece's actual strong point as far as, you know, music goes. He's a rapper, he's got bars, and he's really, really dope. So I'm hoping to see this collab actually come about. Hopefully, you know, it's not just a collab that gets thrown somewhere down in Dax's album or somewhere down AReece's album. Hopefully it's a collab that gets put on the forefront for the whole world to see. Well, now after seeing this whole Dax and, you know, discovering AReece situation, I actually started to think about something and ponder on something that Nota had said. And this is what he actually said. He said, most dislike Amapiano song right now, but undeniably the biggest song in the country. Hashtag #1 Shazam, YouTube, Apple Music, and Spotify without playlist support. All you rappers still trying to be American after this, then you might as well join the unemployment line and start looking for work. It's adapt or die. Now, from those words, you guys can hear that he basically is suggesting that rappers in South Africa that actually sound American, you know, aren't doing as well as the rappers that actually adapt and try and, you know, focus on South African sounds in order to drop their music. And Nota has been pushing this for a while. You guys will know he was also Questa's manager. So Questa, you know, obviously came out with his own sound, and, you know, Makwa and a lot of the guys that were working with him also have, you know, their own unique sort of African sound. And it makes sense why Nota thinks this way. But considering what's happening, you know, for example, with AReece in this particular case, I wonder if what Nota is saying is still true or actually holds true. Because when you listen to what Nota is saying, it's suggesting that artists ought to actually adapt or die. But I'm not sure whether I actually agree, because when you look at it, at the way that the market is going, or the hip-hop market is going, or the music market is going in general, as we move forward and as time goes by, it seems more and more that the lines between countries, the lines between, you know, which market you can appeal to and which market, you know, will likely listen to you, seems to be getting blurred more and more as time goes by. So I'm starting to wonder whether the idea of you need to just chase being the biggest artist in South Africa is the best idea, right? Or is the best way to go about things. Because yes, you know, you have guys like Vocalistic who have, you know, the biggest song in Gista Remix right now, you know, probably one of the biggest songs on the continent right now. You have Casper, who has just dropped his song, and you know, it's went straight to #1, and he's arguing that it's primarily because it's Amapiano and it sounds African. But at the very same time, you have artists like Nasty C that are still able to get that mainstream support. And even besides getting that mainstream support, you still have them now starting to tap into bases that a lot of these other artists might struggle to tap into. It's not that they can't, but you know, once you get to a point where it's easy for a guy in Canada to, you know, to listen to AReece's music and actually like it, and you know, he has the type of fan base that, you know, would like that type of music, and over time I think you will likely see more and more of these artists tour the world more than they actually tour South Africa. And you know, you will know that the international, you know, tours have a bigger bag than the local, you know, tours. Does it still make sense to try and confine artists to, you need to sound this way to actually make it? There was a time where that was true, right? There was a time where that was true. But I have questions around whether that is still true today. In my personal opinion, I think we need to just leave this whole thing to the free market, okay? It's pretty clear from what you're seeing with Nasty C, from what you're seeing with AReece, from what you will likely see from other artists that are just coming up in the game, that if you do the American sound or you do the Western sound and you do it well, you know, you will get the international recognition you're looking for, especially if that's what you're trying to accomplish. The problem is if you're trying to do it and you're not really good at it. And we also do see with the likes of Shoma Josie that if you do the local sound, you can also make it into international spaces in a different way. So I think it should be left to the free market, you know. Do what you do best, drop your music, and, you know, cultivate a fan base. And over time, you know, if you're doing what you're doing and you're doing it well, you will get some international recognition and you will make a bag. Just make sure that what you're doing is what you're doing well. Don't do it. The problem is when you're a rapper and you know, try and do the American sound and you're not really good at it, or you try and do the local sound and you're not really good at it. But y'all leave me your comments in the comment section. Let me know what you think. What do you guys think of AReece basically, you know, getting a shout out from Dax in the United States? Do you guys think this will lead to a feature? What do you guys think of what Nota basically has been pushing about, you know, artists sounding more local? Do you think that it's actually necessary for us to keep confining artists to a particular sound? Or is it time to actually recognize that, you know, given the power of the internet and the accessibility of the internet over time, the globe is actually shrinking, and it's very easy for an artist who is here to tap into another market that, you know, is in another country and go and tour and do shows there rather than, you know, focus on South Africa. Elaine is a good example of this. Y'all leave me your comments and definitely subscribe. Awesome.